That's good question, Jigget Sterling Johnson. We're here in the courtyard garden and to plant hot. Hot is our version of squash, and this squash has his legend. It has where it comes from, and we actually the science goes is that there's three types of squash that are in this one variety of seeds, and actually because of this um, cross pollination that we have, this squash is able to withstand the heat during the summer. As said today, we were gonna hit 100, if not today, maybe tomorrow. But this squash right here does really good during the summer. Actually, my experience with it, growing it on the reservation, was pretty good. I watched it come out and actually harvest it. It was pretty amazing, and it was nice to see it from start to finish. And it's really amazing plant that really thrives here during the summer. And what we're gonna do here is, which if you look at right here, this wheelbarrow, we have this compost, which is called Bioflora, and this fertilizer. With many fertilizers, if you ever look and you see, they have the smell in the big farms for hay. A lot of stuff comes from cow manure, and actually because we're out here and there's not too many cows out in this area to get manure from, we improvised and used another version of this cow manure. Originally, we were gonna, if you think of your soil, and you think of your soil, as your body, your body, gets hungry and needs energy, and you need to keep, you need something to pick yourself up. So there's energy, so you eat to get more energy. You eat to give yourself strength for the day. And for this, our soil here has been overworked for the past, 6 years. That the only time that it got compost manure, was when it first started growing here. And actually, what we're doing is just feeding the soil with this compost. So the compost and this fertilizer. This fertilizer we got in Phoenix, and it's Happy Frog, tomato and vegetable fertilizer. I used this in several of our gardens earlier this year to help with the soil. And you don't really want to use fertilizer too much. You want to use it every 2 to 3 years for the purposes of not being overuse. Just like farms, if you overuse the fertilizer, you tend to deplete your soil, and your soil can't grow stuff naturally. And you have to keep applying fertilizers to keep your soil going, versus if you let it do it naturally. So what we're gonna do is this: we're gonna empty 2 bags of compost in this wheelbarrow, add a little bit of fertilizer, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna dig some holes and mix it in with the soil and plant the ha. So for this, we thank you for watching these videos, and we're gonna get started. So we did a mix of the fertilizer and the 2 bags of compost, and we did about a shovel and a half of fertilizer to two bags of compost. We're gonna dig out the holes and actually break up the soil, but we're not gonna stir too much. And we're gonna add the compost and into the hole, and we're gonna just mix the soil with the compost and the dirt that's in here. And after that, now we're gonna come in, just like anything else before, we're gonna plant 4 seeds together of the hot or the squash. new plant, cover, and that's it. And we're gonna do it every 3 feet. Now they always say plant the squash every 6 feet because it vines out. But this because we want our chances to have more squash, so we're actually gonna plant every 3 feet and plant as many as we can. So with that, no, thank you.